Hello all, welcome to another table talk video with Marist free. Today is May 9, 2021. I know I promised I said in the last not promised but I said in the last video that we'll be having a next video on spirituality and that I'm trying to cover it today, and hopefully we are able to understand a little bit about spirituality. Um, like I said, our videos are going to be on motivationals and inspirations, and hopefully we get to a place of understanding where I am heading to, of this storm that we have, the confusion of the mind of many getting some kind of mental situations today that we don't even comprehend, of the past situations that we thought we had resolved are coming back to us again like new, and we're trying to make medications and all this. But how can we try to protect ourselves from having so much of this and reduce the workload of the hospitals, and reduce the workloads of even ourselves being? And how do we heal? How do we walk this road together? Peace still in the storm, back to peace that have no storm. For before an existence of a human, there was peace, and until they came into the world was like a new. And of every walk, there is never no one that would say they've been perfect, but of a storm, of either they facing a storm or they being a storm, or one way or the other, sometimes lesser than others, sometimes more than others, in any way that we have been able to. But at the end, no one is condemned, is what I'm pleading. But what we need is edification, reorientation, of sitting on a table. Let's have a table talk, world. Let's have a table talk, humans. We are intelligent. We are intellects. We are higher beings of our world compared to all other existence of animals and other among the tree, the ants, the all organisms that exist, even the waters, every existence is like they depend on us, of how intelligent we are. We are able to stand and build mansions. The things we do, no other in this human earth can do it. No other but us. We can travel the water. We can build barriers. We can build stable ground. We can enable emergency plans. Like, our intelligence is what I'm talking about. Our intelligence is so great. It's greater than ever intelligence. That when some are able to mimic us, of even the other organisms, we are like, hey, we still find ourselves even greater. Of the physical, please understand with me, of the physical reality that we are. I know that we are able to spiritually have images that some have experienced, of other existence of creatures, and all that, of the mind. And some seeing, when I raise one hand up, and some are saying five in the hospital, like we have experienced of practice and everyday life of being nurses and and teachers, and well, teachers, the name of enablers or reorientators, those who reorientate others. We all have experienced different we all have had different experiences of our existence in the world, of strangeness that we're trying to correct, of this wasn't here before, why is it here? This glass was not supposed to be on the table. Why is it here? It's gonna fall, and before you know it, bram, someone has dropped it down. I told you to take this glass off from here, to put it in the kitchen, to put it where it belongs. All that. When something is placed where it's not supposed to be placed, we begin to be unstable. And when a situation happens, we react arrogant. There is pride. There is arrogant pride. There is a storm. There is the arrogant pride can enable a low self-esteem of the other, and all that we've been enabled. We have been able to understand that the mind is a battlefield. Of every time we have to think. Everything we do, we have to think, even before putting our feet down. Sometimes it comes automatic, but I tell you, we have already thought, because we have so much to worry about. Sometimes we do things without even thinking, but you will not believe that some things you already thought before you even did it without even knowing you thought about it. It's amazing how you get your feet down and already know where your slippers, your shoes is to just put it on. You already know where you already know know where the ground is. You just put your leg down. If someone wake you up from sleep, hey, you wake up and all the way down already like what? It's not like you even thought about where your legs were going, but you already knew, had already programmed yourself where the earth, the ground is to put your legs on. That sometimes you want to put your leg and you put your leg on the baby, you're like, oh, I didn't know the puppy was there. Oh, I didn't know the baby was there. You already programmed your mind. So this program sometimes can be disrupted. So now what do we do? How do we heal? Understanding that we have some difficulties that we face of our world today, if not understanding our spirituality. What is spirituality? It's the mind. When we are in the human form, our spirituality starts with the mind. The mind is spirit. The mind is the battlefield. That is the spirit that we have to seek first to be able to get into any other, knowing that any images we see have a mind or work with the mind. There's a mind backing up that image. Be it of 50 images, we know there's a mind backing it up. Now, even when we see the sketches that we do of even the puppets, like the shows that we used to have, like children, there's a mind behind all those. Just is it entertainment alone? No, it's lessons, education. It educates us of how we walk. Take the concrete back to the abstract. The abstract is the spirituality of us. The concrete is the physical we see, and the abstract is the spirit of us that we have to first seek. Like a seed, it grows of every connection. It connects with every mind connects like a drop of water, a drop of ocean. We all connect and become an ocean. You will not believe of the mind. And we seek that this coming together should not be of storm, should not be of ripples forming to become a storm, but of peace still. And that when we meet with one accord. Of not one saying, no, I don't want to storm, and other being like, I don't want to storm, but I am, I don't know why. And we have to get to a place of peace still in the storm by being able to understand why we don't want to be a storm and why we are still being a storm, why we don't want a storm and we're still having a storm. Why is there a storm? That even the earth reacts, a concrete mind, the earth takes it back into us of the mind that we are. A whole circle also is the mind of a two, peace still in the storm existing. We're trying to peace still because peace is the only way to be. It's the only stable ground, is what we seek. So it's why I want to talk about spirituality of this traveling, this journey of YouTube that we're enabling. And I pray that this channel be able to motivate and inspire us out here of the best that we can, of those that can be able to even argue. Argument will bring, we argue to enable, a positive side of better. It's only advancing. Okay, we are able to just work together to get this positive become growing. Okay, it should be growing to a better, getting greater every day and not stagnant is what we seek. We don't argue to fall apart. We argue to comprehend more and seek more for motivational reasons and not condemning. So I pray that feel free to comment and argue a point or make a point that could add on. We're only trying to light up and be more light. Please, I plead. If you have more information, add it on and let's work. Some little seeds that we plant, we think they don't grow into trees. They grow into trees like the mustard seed. It does not only become a shrub alone, it will be surprised of the tree. So be careful what tree you plant. Be careful what seed you put in the ground. Don't minimize it of its size, thinking that it's silly, but I tell you it can grow. So let's grow the right seeds, I pray. Let's grow the right seeds. I pray, meaning I plead. Okay, so now looking at spirituality, hope we've understood a little bit where I'm trying to go with spirituality of motivationals and inspirationals, of how much I've learned from my childhood to now, of many religions today. After everything, we have to look at spirituality of our today, looking at religions, cultures and where we all come from, our origins, and where we have to look at those because they are like roots that we all put together and we're able to make the spirituality of us today. That like a melting, they say a melting pot. Let me not use melting pot, but a quilt of colors of like a rainbow. It should be united, you know, overlapping each other, not divided. We should not be able to see the lines. That's what we're seeking. We're seeking our world to be a one that, even if it's supposed to be a rainbow, should be united, okay? While seeking to become light, like I was explaining in the other videos, that darkness came from light. Our physics, Sir Newton enabled us to see this. His work could have been thought to be only a concrete help and not really what it's supposed to be. But today, the concrete help in our abstract to understand better of who we are after all the disruptions we've had is helping us to see that the dark belongs in the light, and its stable ground is being in the light where it's not sin. Tears is not supposed to be sin, it's supposed to be in a smile, okay? That you don't even realize the tears. The tears is not supposed to be out. It's like the heart. It's supposed to be in the chest. It's not supposed to be out. But when you put a stethoscope, you can hear the heart, boom, and the beating sound is life. But when it's out of the chest, it's like, oh no, it's like there's no life. It's like it's gonna take my life away. It's dying. I hope we understand it. So darkness is supposed to be in the light. We see that in the light, which is the quietness, the listening. When you're able to sit and listen to someone speak, your listening is the quietness, is the dark. And the one speaking is speaking with authority, and which is the light. And you listening, you have your own turn to speak, to take over. So it's as Archangel. I hope you understood where I I hope we understood where I got, you know, to get into all this and be enabling us to get back to what we are missing. Those silly steps, those silly, like the verb, like vowels and consonants, like how to put those together to make a word. That if you can read without knowing those, some words will be there that you'll be having difficulties with. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really get to know my you know, like those how do you call those some vocabularies that we have to learn, like before you get to know, you know, your how to read, you know, the phonics. Yeah, I think that's what they call it, the phonics. I didn't get to study that in school. Yes, I felt like I missed that part in school, but I knew my A, B, C, D, you know, the vowel, you know, I knew my ABC. But it was like my own place to go learn how to do the phonics. You know, when you get the phonics, you can read anything. You know what I mean? So some words you're able to read, but some words you're like, oh, okay, or to even spell, you know. So at the end of the day, we thank God for the growing that we've gotten to be today with having Google. You Google words, you know, you don't have to struggle so much more, because the physical is not really all that. What really matters is the abstract mind. All this building is to get to the abstract mind. That when you've known how to at least work with the physical, you should be able to reorientate yourself in the abstract. The spiritual side of us is what we're trying to heal, which is the reason why we need our mental health while we work in the physical. Because if you don't have your mental health, how do you even work with the physical, no matter how much you know? You know what I mean? We want to have our doctors working right. We want everyone to be able to work right. And it's only by showing that we are able to know the test when it comes, and not call it temptation or call it mean. We know it's a test and we're supposed to be ready for it, right? So let's try to heal right by understanding our spirituality of our human nature without crossing the border, okay, of the images we see out there different from us. The cloud, you know, have its own. You cannot touch the cloud, but you see it. You know, we've had differences that we see that, hey, there are many forms of images, but now it's the mind that is backing it up. All the minds should be one, and that's what we're seeking. Peace that have no storm. And from there, the rainbow that will be is seeking to get back into light. Of the rainbow, we had darkness, right? The colors that the primary colors that make dark, of being green, yellow, and red. Okay, so when we were able to make this dark, now this dark has to go back into the rainbow, the colors, and then the colors back into light. So the dark side, the heart is out. All what we do to enable the heart back into the chest of peace still in the storm is of carefulness and being vigilant. Or ask the doctors, they will tell you how vigilant and careful they are when they're trying to get the heart back. So you shouldn't have a bruise, no vein, no capillary should bruise because it bleeds. We all understand what we're talking about. We have to be very careful, pampering, comforting to each other while we heal. So let's get to understand our spirituality, please, knowing that, okay, spirituality, according to I did some research, and this is what I got about spirituality. A website, the RCP, rcpsych.ac.uk, rcpsych.ac.uk says that it involves recognition of a feeling or sense or belief that there is something greater than self, something more to being humans than sensory. Knowing that sensory is like the feeling, the hearing, the sight, the taste, and all that we learned in school. And that also helped me to confirm that with me, that that's what sensory is, that something more to being humans than sensory. Spirituality, like sensory experience, and that the greater whole of which we are part is cosmic or divine in nature. Okay, a greater whole of which we are part is cosmic or divine in nature. So this is what spirituality is. It's not, this is what their definition is. But you've understood, you already heard a little bit of what I have understanding of what spirituality is. I'm begging us to try to calm down. To calm down. Let's have a table talk. Let's go to the basics first and check our foundation if it's well aligned before we really build this mansion that we're trying to build of the millennial generation. This should not be more than us. Okay, we can't push it onto Generation Z or Alpha, Generation Alpha. We have to be able to give them a good note, helping the baby boomers that were before us, so that no one should be carrying any blame ahead and saying, "Oh, they did not teach us, they did not tell us." Let us do our work, millennials. Let us do our work. We have to go back to the basics and make sure that the foundation is well. So we've understood the explanation of the research or the website that says RCPS, RC Psych, that's rcpsych.ac.uk says about our understanding of spirituality, that according to spirituality, it involves recognition of a feeling or sense or belief that there is something greater than self, something more to being humans than sensory experiences, and that the greater whole of which we are part is cosmic or divine in nature. And looking only at that, we know that, okay, this is explaining that spirituality is more than just sensing, just feeling, like touch, taste, and all that, the images we see. Spirituality is more than that, and that's true. I agree with that point. I agree. Something greater. Okay, but at the end, when you look at it again and saying that, but I said it's of the mind, right? So all this, the mind that backs every images. Okay, the touch, you touch something. That's something. When you touch something, it has its own feeling. It's an image. If you can touch something, it has an image. It has a feel. A cloud you cannot touch, but you can see. So that's a sense of sight. Feeling, you feel cold even though you can touch the wind. It's a sensory. So we all this around us, I hope you understand what this is trying to explain to us. So all this around us is spirituality, is more than it. It's not that it's not spirituality, but spirituality is, it has spirituality, but it's spirituality is more than all this. These are just like part of us. We humans are stable, a form that is solid, but all this around us that are not touchable have another sense of sight. Okay, some you don't see them, you don't touch, you don't feel, you don't see, you don't taste, you don't what's the other, hear. Okay, it's only of the mind. Okay, that is different. That there's another sight, the mind, the vision, You could call it vision. Some say it's a vision. It's not by my sight that I saw it, not with my eyes, but of a vision in the mind. Now, what is that? Is that an eye? You ask. Is that spirituality? That's higher beings. So we are of different levels, categories. We are of different categories of images. That of the mind, you're able to, you say is you reflect. But the one I saw in my mind, I've never seen before. So how is it possible that it is in existence if it's not of sight, of all that? Okay, the feeling that I felt was not of the physical, but it's like another me, but it's, I can't even explain it. Some will try to explain of their problem and they say it's a disease, but now we see that, okay, the mind is us, the abstract. We have the abstract, we have the concrete. The concrete, we try to work with the concrete to understand the abstract. And that's where we have the spiritual battle. We call it the battleground, and that's the battlefield. The mind is the battlefield, and we are the mind. That the mind, that we all, are of the mind. There's another side of us, the mind, where we work with each other, that we feel. And the feeling is not supposed to be more than what we feel until the flesh has given way. We should be able to, first of all, understand what we're supposed to understand when the flesh is still upon us. It's either the flesh gives way or you transition. Okay, or you transition, and whichever way that you enable out of your enable of this flesh, all what matters is the mind should be of a stable ground of understanding. Your foundation should be aligned before you get into these other sides, be it of the physical or of the side that you can see but you cannot touch, whichever, if not of the sensory. The same spirituality here is humans that than sensory experience. Okay, that's spirituality. Even the physical too is part of spirituality, but it's the concrete side of spirituality. And spirituality is the abstract side. I hope you understand. Because me feeling you is spirituality. Okay, it's part of spirituality. The foundation is still the house. It's part of the house. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And when the house is part of the foundation, I hope you understand. Because the house reflects the foundation. Okay? That even the house is so beautiful, if it falls, the foundation wasn't well built. I hope we all get what I'm saying. So even when we say vanity, vanity, nothing is vanity if we understand spirituality right. Nothing is vanity. That what we learn of this physical is still part of spirit, is still part of spirituality. I hope you understand. It's still part of spirituality. Okay, that even though it passes away, they say it only moves in to reality. Okay, or what you learn with the mannequins, you only move with it into the real world. Okay, the experience still counts. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. These physicals count. So what you do in the physical also counts. Okay, even though you'll be better in the next, but make sure that you're only trying to get better, and that even if you're not better, going to the other side is you endeavoring to correct the mistakes. Even when you feel like you're late, at least you're correcting your mistake. It's in the spirit, in the spirit realm, it's never late because it's forever, it's eternity. Right? So it's of the physical that we're willing to worry about, and it's great because it's only of a short time. And what does that mean? We have to get in on time, get to work, and that even boost us to be able to correct a lot in the physical before we get into the spirit realm. Now, even those that have been able to experience the spirit realm are able to heal, by not condemning themselves, by learning from those that are still in the physical. But are we going to be leaving people behind, making children to leave them behind so that we can be learning from them and they, trying to, and all this going on? Like today of our generation, and we struggling? Will this one day be lost again? That Christ was enabling this in his time, was not able to transpire it, like expected. Like even though he spoke it out like expected, but those receiving it, were they receiving it right? Like even of us today speaking, is everyone receiving it right, or is it going to change tomorrow? Had this been fixed before, but has been changed? We all have sent a message. We had a message sent, like I said in the other video, in the classroom, and it went around, and at the end, it didn't come out right. Like what the teacher had said, and it was really interesting to find out how things can really, get twisted along the way. So hope this message helps us today of understanding spirituality, of what AVCPSYCH is trying to help us understand of spirituality is greater than sensory experiences. Okay, that it involves recognition of a feeling or sense of belief that there is something greater than self. There's something greater than self. You're trying to connect with this greater than self, which is peace that have no storm, because we are in a place of disruption, is what I understand of this explanation. And then now, for understanding spirituality of the way I've explained it, I also looked at m.huffpost.com. That's m.huffpost.com. I looked at the word. We have to also, to know spirituality, we have to know spiritual person. We have to understand what a spiritual person is. A spiritual person is one with the highest priority, whose highest priority is to be loving to self and others, caring about people, animals, and the planets, knowing we all are one, consciously attempting to honor the oneness. This was written December 21st of 2015. Okay, this is one of this research that I did that I kind of connected with. Okay, the one above, and this explanation of spirituality that I just explained, and explanation of spiritual person kind of connect, but the little additions that I try to enable us understand of it. Okay, that when you say a spiritual person, who is that spiritual person? It's one with whose highest priority is being loving to self and others, caring about people, animals, and the planet, knowing we all are one, consciously attempting to honor the oneness. You consciously attempting. Sometimes you make mistakes, and all you're trying to do is recover. That you're trying to bring out the mistakes that you've made, the unknown mistakes. You're trying to know them, because some things go without knowing until it's exposed, that you've done for so long. It's not appreciable by yourself. So you try to even find it before even someone brings it to you. Okay, our constant searching. That are we supposed to come into a world and be searching? Why are we even in the place of a storm in the first place? There's sickness. And if you are a nurse, if we have learned of nurses and doctors, when you get into a hospital, what do? You want to realize that you're a nurse only when you've seen the sickness? Okay, if so be, then get up and be the nurse. It's never late. Okay, that if of 50 years you've been doing like the sick one, okay, of which you're the nurse, you heal and start healing others. Even one day healing is worthy of this physical being that is lower of is lower of compared to the higher beings that we cannot touch, that are greater than our physical. Okay, that we of the higher beings, we are the highest of beings in our own physical earthly world of compared to the animals, trees, and all others. They all have their values, but we of the mind are greater because we're able to, walk, do things, and build houses, and we have an extravagant mindset. Okay, that we are so of greater in nature of 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 building and extrinsic way of going about with things. Okay, so we are of much of higher mentally, of intelligence, how we carry out our activities. Okay, so I pray we begin to understand who we are of a physical being. Let's concentrate on us. Yes, we are greater than this being because we have a mind that we're able to dream, we're able to see ourselves in places. When you dream and you're somewhere, and all that stuff, you see yourself, sometimes movie transpires, after watching movie, you become the actor in your own dream, and then you act that movie even better than the one that just acted the movie. And all that, tells us a lot about our being. Just, it's like, am I living a double life? You know what I mean? So now what do you do? This first understanding who you are, you have to know your basics. Know your basics before you go to all these places, because it really changes how you work in these places. When you see yourself of a better, you're able to navigate all these difference, this new that comes to you better. Be it of the dream in your mind, of reality, or of you getting out of your body, or what out of body experience and all that. You become of better if you understand your basics. It's what I'm pleading we get, all humans, of spirituality. A spiritual person is highest priority is loving self and others. Do not stay in anger for too long. Do not let the sun set on your anger. Do not, if you're able to do that, don't only stay there. Try to seek for, or do not let sunset in 5 hours on your anger. Do not let, after that, you can do that. You go to, do not let sunset on your anger for in 2 hours. You have to keep on enabling yourself to become, it's like a step. You're climbing the stair, you're going higher. When you're climbing on the ladder, you're going higher. You know what I mean? All we're seeking for is the higher, of whatever realm we get to. Okay, realm of the mind, realm of spirit, whichever realm where we've gotten into of planets. They say that you seek caring about people, animals, and the planet. Okay, we've come to know many planets. Whichever planet you find yourself in, are you caring? Are you helping? What are you doing in there? Who are you? You know what I mean? Are you peace still in the storm? No arrogant pride, no low self-esteem, humble pride. We seek. You know what I mean? And that you correct when you're able to know of humble pride, you begin to correct your image. That if you're looking like something different than being human, you begin to realize, hey, if I should be any out here, I should be better than being just, better than any creature that I have seen, because the creatures should be seeking to be like me, of where I come from. The tree wants to become like me. The ants want to become like me. The animals all want to become like me, of being able to build their house and do this, and it's us of the humans that can do this. So if I'm getting out there, I should be of a better, sophisticated, dignified. You know what I mean? Of being among those out there, I should be of the highest being of those out there. You know what I mean? Of a human form of better, not with tails and all this. No, those with tails are trying to become like us. Like even of the revolution of humans, we see that they say, oh, humans were this before they became human. Okay, fine. If someone to draw with that, but who are we today? We are those on the computer intellect. So if we're getting to the other side, we are becoming of intellect. We are not going back to the old. Okay, we are becoming of better, and our better should be of not only of the physical building, but of caring. Where is the caring side of us? Where is that beautiful side of us? Okay, where is that nurturing, loving side of us? You love yourself. You know what I mean? That there's a higher being that we're looking out there, which is peace that have no storm. That way we are all in a storm of every level of storm, some lesser than others. If we are in a one that is more, we're trying to get into the one that is less. And not only staying there, but looking for the one that there is no storm should be our aim. We are aiming higher, higher. That if we're aiming at 100, our aiming at 150 will get us to 100. Because if we're aiming only at 100, we may not reach 100 because of the storm that we are facing. You know what I mean? Like our goal should be greater. And how we achieve this goal should not be at once, because it's going to be so much struggling because of the nature that we are of low, but of knowing that it's 100, but I'm going to step by step. But my aim, how you go gracefully, you run carefully, then knowing your goal is to reach that end line. You don't want to go so fast, and then you end halfway because you want to reach 100. Does not mean you have to go fast. It's go carefully, gracefully, you know, productively. I pray we understand where I'm going to with spirituality. A spiritual person is one that cares about their planet, the animals. You're caring for the animals. You should stay caring for the animal, not the animals caring for you. Okay? That when you're growing and you see your grandfather was caring for you, now you're the one caring for them. It's like, what is going on? We are higher than this. They are parting this world. Is this world not a home? They have said. Our ancestors have said this all over. We've heard it in songs. This is not home. We are here just for a while. We are parting. Parting to where? To a better place and not worse is what we seek. So of the mind, let's heal. So that this image that we carry, if it's becoming another, it should be of a better and not of a low self-esteem. Because what you desire is what you get to say. But hey, whatever you get, you got to make sure that you get out of it and make sure you become better. Okay? Like this is the flesh that you have. But guess what? You don't want to become of any lesser, because you have the authority to choose. You have self-will, you have to choose. You don't have to become of any negative. You don't choose what is not right. You should be loving, caring for yourself. Because a drunk is the one that will wear something, an animal skin, and then to realize and be like, this is not my body. Or get naked on the street and be like, oh no, I have to put on clothes. Stay reorientated. Do not drink alcohol. I pray we understand what spirituality I'm trying to talk about. There are two sides of spirituality, the side that is disorientated and the one that is orientated. We are trying to stay in the orientated by correcting the disorientated side, discipline. You discipline yourself from that alcohol. When it becomes an addiction, it's not right. Okay? We only call it an addiction because, let me not say not right, but a harder way to get back to right. I don't want to call it not right because always lead back to right. But the thing is, we don't want a difficult way to right. Okay? So please, I don't want to condemn no one here, but I'm trying for us to I'm trying to be a motivation to each other and an inspiration to each other, knowing that we all are trying. That even the one that is falling is still trying, but it's in a harder way that we need to help them. Know that making them know that they're trying, even though you're going down, you're trying. Okay, you gotta just fix one or two so that you get back, to the place where you belong or better. And not only belong, but, returning back to Father is returning back to Father. Father is peace that have no storm. We are returning back to. Okay. Now, after understanding a spiritual person is one who cares, and loving, being conscious, attempting to honor the oneness. It's a beautiful way this writer wrote this. Is attempting. You keep on attempting that even when you feel lesser, you have to keep on attempting. Keep on attempting, not be stagnant. Okay. Even when you feel stagnant, keep on doing keep on doing that. Keep on trying to not give up. That even when you're tired and you're resting in your mind, you're still working. Like, you gotta keep on going, man. You gotta gather some strength and keep on going. Not gather a strength and keep going back down. No. That even when you're going back down, you'll be like, you know what? What am I doing? I gotta turn back. Hey, where am I going? You know what I mean? You gotta get that punch. You gotta get that that place of returning back to peace that have no storm. Okay? Now, there are 5 characteristics of spirituality. Like I learned from NCBI, NL, ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, ncbi.nlmi, sorry, ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. I learned there that there are 5 characteristics of spirituality. I want to go with this. I'm trying to go with what we have today so that we can able to really relate. You know what I mean? Let me not really just bring everything up from my own perspective alone, because we all are working and we're working together. Even of those of greater storms, they also still have a peace in them. You know what I mean? They still have a peace because nothing dies. Just because there's life in all of us means that there is peace in all of us. Okay? All we have to do is try to reorientate them back to right. Okay, by peace stilling the storm. Lullaby, not condemning. We lullaby until even when they're not listening, you'll be surprised that finally, once you have been able to get out, you'll be surprised how much a lullaby you've been able. You hear one back there singing, so we'll be singing and laughing and thinking, wait, don't look only at the laughter. At least be glad they know the song. You know what I mean? That one day it's going to make sense to them what they're singing. Okay, that they're able to sing it is, you should try to see the positive side, even when they're laughing and like singing it and singing and laughing, and whatever reaction they're doing with the song. You at least be glad that at least be a real good motivator. Sometimes you feel hurt, but don't forget to remind yourself, hey, at least they knew the song. Find comfort. Be the peace during the storm. That even when you face a storm from the lessons that you're enabling, you should be able to find the peace that will comfort you to peace through the storm that you are getting. So the characteristics of spirituality that we got was meaning, value, transcendence, connection, becoming. Okay, my understanding of these 5 characteristics was that meaning is usefulness of something. Okay, meaning useful, the usefulness of being. Your usefulness of being is your meaning. What's your meaning? What is your meaning? Your purpose, what's your meaning in this world? What's your usefulness? What do you mean? Who are you? What do you mean? You know what I mean? I mean peace still in the storm. That's what I mean. That's my own understanding. If someone asks you, ask you the question, what's your meaning of being? What's your meaning of being in this world, humans? It's for peace during the storm. It's humanity. Humanitarians, we call ourselves. What is that? Caring, nurturing, charity. What is that of the physical of a neighbor? What of your mind? What do you do of your mind? You peace during your storm is charity to me of the mind. That even when you're giving to me and you're staying still depressed, it still hurts my feeling. That when I watch you after giving me, you're sitting back and crying in your tears of your own pain, I need to also comfort you by cheering you up, by praying for you, by motivations, enabling to let you know that you're not a fall. Okay, you're not a fall, but one fallen. You should remember that you're not the sickness. You are the sick one. You can heal. You can rise up from the fall. I hope you understand what we're saying. I hope you understand what I'm saying, please. And then after understanding what meaning is, what is the value? What's your value? Your value is your self-worth, the greatest to expectation. Okay, the greater self-worth greater to expectation. What's your value? Your value is your worth. What's your self-worth? We know of money worth. How much do you worth in this world? It's a beautiful thing. When we see stars saying how much they worth, we say, oh, that's all. It is a lesson that I've enabled for us. Like, God, Father, did they really need to go through that to enable us to see this, have these lessons of telling us their worth? The worth that is shown to the physical is for us to take and reflect into the spirit of us, of the mind of us. That's the concrete that we should be able to take and reflect of the abstract, and helping them to understand that, hey, this physical that you show us is beautiful. I tell you, help us by helping self and you, caring for self and you, by enabling to take this concrete that you've enabled of the physical back into the mind, of the mind being able to achieve this self-worth that you've enabled us to see, of wealth, of mansions, that you're able to have cars. You're supposed to be able to have this in the mind of being of better characteristics, of peace during the storms. You should be able to have a lot of peace that steals all the storms. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be bling bling in the mind, like the storms we have in the mind. We should be able to carry this concrete back into the abstract. Okay, practice the mannequins that we've enabled. Let's be able to work with them and go into the reality. The reality is the mind. You know what I mean? Does not mean that all what we have been able to have here is vanity. No, it's not vanity. Please, wealth is important. There's no way wealth can be without health, and there's no way health can be without wealth. That's one thing that we need to understand. Okay, we need both. That even are able to make this wealth without health, we are able to take this and enable a concrete to enable the abstract mind heal, enable the health that we need. The health is the mind, the wealth we've had. Let's use them like concrete mindset, and enable the wealth, and enable the health that we need in the mind. I hope you understand where I'm going to. Please, my brethren, I beg royalties. Let's understand. I beg you. Please, let's motivate each other. Let nothing go wasted. Okay? Let nothing go wasted. It's either we're making lessons or blessings. That the fairness of us is blessing, and the unfairness we enable lessons out of them and heal. No one is condemned. That whoever is angry and disorientated, we can only heal them by being a motivational, by being an inspirational. And no one has done no work less, but we are only an advancement of each other, that they nurturing us, they that have been able to raise us, have been able to raise a greater, and they'll be proud of. That a teacher will raise a president and be like, you know what, even though I was not a president, I made one. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Let's edify our baby boomers, our generation of baby boomers. Let's edify the millennials. Let's let the Z generation, the generation Z edify the millennials. Let the Alpha generation, the generation Alpha edify the Z generation, edify the millennials, edify the baby boomers. You know what I mean? Like, even though I wasn't that, I made that one. You know what I mean? This is what we should be talking about. Okay, what is our value? Let's find our self-worth. My self-worth being a teacher is enabling a president. And that president right there is me, because I made that one. You know what I mean? Like, now, of humble pride, let's take it. So arrogant pride should not mess up with us. You know what I mean? So now the next one is transcendence, which means the concrete to abstract field. Okay. When I saw this, I was like, God, this is beautiful. Like, it's just it's just so connected to what I am talking about. Okay, of what I'm understanding of today, of what we're supposed to be looking at. When you go researching, all have greatness in them. Okay, but when you see one that reflects you so much, you're like, oh wow, how much all have been able to enable this that is connecting with me right now. It's amazing that we begin to see that, hey, we need to be advancing. Put out the one that is the newest right out there, so everyone can be able to hold on to. Not going to look for the ones that have have been able to make that one. It's making our work slower. You know what I mean? When we get those ones that have ripened, we put them all out, so everyone should be going for the ripened ones. You know what I mean? Like all the ones that are below, they're important, yes, but you of a millennia going all the way down to the ancient days, trying to, it's just dragging everyone down. When you're able to get to where, like, to the higher, the ones that they have enabled, okay, like A, B, C, D, like, okay, how do we make the word call? You get C, you get A, you get L, L. You don't want to make, after we have call, you say calling, you want to put ing. You don't want to go back all the way, start looking for another letters, A, C, A. You just get the call and get ing and put it on it. You know what I mean? I hope we get what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Calling. You want to say calling. Collins. Collins means Callings. You get the Collins, the calling, and just put an S on it. Collins. I'm calling. How many callings have you had? You know what I mean? Just add an S on it. You know what I mean? We have to speed up, but understanding that we are gracefully healing, vigilant. We have to be able to achieve of right. We don't have to go all the way back to looking for C, A, L, L, and no, we are working together. That the one we ended with call, we are adding ing on it. And the ing now calling, we're looking just for S to add on it. You know what I mean? Just put the S on, let's go. You know what I mean? Oh, God bless us. I pray motivation, inspiration, enough of the tiring of the brain. Thank God for the computers today. We don't have to go back all the way for newspapers to find out who is the president, or to look for newspapers to find out where did what start from, and all that. We all have it in the computers. We don't look for books again from generation to generations, digging grounds and burying them. Oh no, they're all on the computer. Oh, God is good. God is peace that hath no storm. Please do not misunderstand me, I beg. Before we look for the right image that is God, let's know peace that hath no storm is God. Know the character of who you're looking for, and then you'll know which one is the right one, because it will connect right with the one. Okay? We judge to 85. Okay, now we know transcendence means concrete to abstract field, and that's what we're looking for, of the physical, of all that we're enabled, be it of that which is not supposed to be, is only like a puzzle that is flipped, a piece of puzzle that is flipped upside down. We need to just turn it back around. Okay, does not mean I have to throw it away. No, it's just to flip it back right. Okay, so let's heal, please. I beg of us. Now, even I speaking right here, it's not like I'm perfect. It's not like, oh, she already got it. Oh no, I'm also still working on me. Okay, I'm also still working on me by having this mindset, it growing in me. It's enabling all of us to have it. Like a teacher teaches in class grade 5 all the time, does not mean that she doesn't forget, but because she's teaching all the time, it helps her keep practicing and perfection. You know what I mean? So you have to keep on lullabying all the time. That's why we keep saying good morning every day. Does not mean that we don't know it's good morning. Okay, it's not like, hey, just keep that good morning for yourself right now and let's just go out and know it's good. No, saying good morning every day is, we just appreciate it, because it helps us know that, hey, we all know it's a good morning. I wouldn't say good morning, I say good evening. You're like, oh, bro, it's good morning. Oh, evening looks like morning sometimes, right? I want to woke up from when I was a kid in the evening trying to go to school thinking it was morning. That has happened to me. So please, so this is where I'm coming from. Okay, we need to be able to say good morning, good morning. Let's lullaby. Me speaking this, it's not just me speaking. You can speak it back to me, and I'll be like, thank you, thank you. I will not. I'll try not to get arrogant, pride. Oh, it's from me. Oh no, we understand this. We know, yes, this is how you're walking, because we were all peace that had no storm. This is just only a reminder. I'm not teaching no one. I'm only reminding us of who we were before the storm. Okay, the next one is connection. Connecting with self, other, connecting with self, others, and the supreme power. Okay, this is the connection. The other characteristic of spirituality is connecting with self, others, and the supreme power. Meaning that when you can connect with yourself, you can connect with others, and then you connect the supreme power, and that's what we're looking for. And it's only possible in peace that have no storm. So it's only by peace still in the storm until we get to connect the supreme power. But we think that, oh, we are connected with God right now and not connected with our brother. Um, that may not be complete, because we know that you can only know the Father only after you've known your brother. If you cannot love your brother, how can you love God? You know what I mean? Like, how can you know peace that have no storm if you cannot go and get along with your brother? It means you still have peace that have no storm in you. You know what I mean? And that's why I keep quoting Christianity, because that's what I've known so much. But I'm African. I should come from African spirituality, but sometimes I feel like my African spirituality was stolen away from me. But no, I wouldn't say it was stolen away from me. But I don't know why we grew up knowing more of Christianity than African spirituality. But Christianity right now is pulling me back to go learn with my ancestors, to know now that it has raised me. It's like I needed this foundation. I needed these basics to be able to go back and understand my ancestors by knowing which puzzle to flip and which one, because they all come from one. We all come from peace that have no storm. Okay, they are all one. It's amazing how we call Christianity, but Christ does not even know Christianity. He didn't make any word call. If you tell Christ, I'm a Christian, you'll be like, Chris, what? What was your name? My name was Joshua. What do you mean by Christian? Okay, so now we understand what I'm trying to say, right? I hope we understand. So all what we're trying to do is getting back to peace still in the storm, and that's the Christ, that the Yeshua that I know is peace still in the storm, and that is also from every tradition. All, even the Buddhism was all have been trying to peace still the storm. Some had more storms than others. Had some agreements like punishing, like affliction. It's a means of enabling peace still in the storm, but it only generates arrogant pride or low self-esteem. That with Christ, we're able to realize that there's a way to peace still the storm without enabling any arrogant or any low self-esteem, by being humble pride, and that is by self-healing. When you self-heal, you heal well without someone hurting you. I can only be your encouragement. Salvation is personal, does not mean I cannot attribute, I cannot contribute. I contribute by being an encouragement. I cannot change you, but you change yourself. But I still have to play the part of being an encourager. It's my place to always encourage you, of the best that I can. If this way doesn't work, I have to find another way and all that stuff. But of peace during the storm and not enabling a conflict or any trigger that will cause any, trigger that will make you fall more into a low self-esteem. Okay, so please, I hope you understand what connection you're supposed to be enabling of peace still in the storm. Okay, no one left out. Please, I know we make mistakes, and even I still making mistakes, but we should have the right mindset before we do anything, working in this image that we have, or the one on the other side, or the one in the mind, in the dream. I tell you, when you're able to connect yourself right, you're able to know how to work in your dreams. You even become better of every step. Every step you see yourself, you'll be surprised of how much basic you have of information is helping. You know what I mean? So it's like some silly, they say silly seeds. It looks silly because it's too small, but I tell you, we call it silly because it's surprising how much a tree can grow. Like the mustard seed tree that Christ will say that it's a silly seed, but you'll be surprised how it grows into a greater, than a shrub that you think maybe can make only a shrub. You know what I mean? You'll be surprised how far you can go. So let's heal, I pray. And then connecting. After connecting, you have becoming, progress in life. Your progress in life should be of better, of peace still in the storm, not of worst. That when it's becoming worst, it's called addiction, because the outcome becomes of a worst. Okay, that's where we get the word addiction. But now you becoming a progress in life of a better is what we call healing. Okay, we heal. So I pray we heal and not enabling affliction. Of gratification is on both sides. On gratification, we get ungratified when we are not able to achieve the right, and we get ungratified when we consume something. We seek for more. We get hungry again, we seek for more. Does it mean it's bad? No. It's only by looking at the outcome, the final outcome, the end. When you're able to rethink about the end of it, then you know if if it is going to be an addiction or a healing. Okay, like alcoholism, you need more of it, and then before you know it, because we call it addiction because it only takes you down. It takes you down to a place of storm. But when you're having more, and the outcome brings you to a place of healing, you begin to know, hey, this is satisfactory because your health is worthy and sound. So you have to be able to know the end points of the end, the final goal. What is your final goal? Is it to fall broken or to heal sound? Knowing these two, then you know which one is addiction and which one is satisfaction. Okay, so please, let's be able to understand that gratification and ungratification is on both sides of spirituality, of good and of what we call evil. Is not evil, it's evil spirited. Okay, we are good spirits, we are spirit beings, we are good spirits, we are holy spirits. Okay, there is no evil spirit, there's only evil spirited. We get evil spirited, the good spirit gets evil spirited. Okay, we are sick ones and not the sickness. I hope we understand. There is no evil spirit, there's no evil spirit being out here. No, we are only ones that are contaminated. That's why it says spirited. Okay, you say evil spirited, not evil spirit. No, spirit is a being. Okay, a spiritual person is a spirit. In the mind is a spirit. It only gets affected. Okay, you don't call someone evil spirit, or I see an evil spirit. No, that's not an evil spirit. The image, you don't call it an evil spirit. It's an image. It carries a mind. The mind that is backing that one. Don't see the image and say, oh, it's because you see me with chicken pox, does not mean that I'm chicken pox. Okay, the image that you see is not who I am. Okay, so now the who I am is the one is Marist. Is Marist free having chicken pox? I had that when I was a kid. That's why I'm trying to use that example. Okay, you seeing that on my image, it doesn't mean that I'm chicken pox. Okay, it's Marist having chicken pox. It's what I'm trying us to understand. Let's not condemn others with some names, evil spirit. It makes them feel worse and trying to become that just to make us being scared and being upset. Trying to, you know what I mean? When you keep condemning a child bad, the child start acting bad and feeling like, yes, that's me. They said I am this, that's what. No, let's try to edify and heal everyone spiritually back to who they are, of peace that had no storm. In the storm, can peace still the storm? Okay, this is spirituality to us, and I pray we understand that spirits heal. Spirit cannot prosper to peace that have no storm without motivations and inspirations. Spirituality, spirit beings, us, we cannot prosper into peace that have no storm without being motivated and inspirational, because we drop into a storm. We need to be motivated, inspired back into peace that have no storm by having faith in us, by believing in being able to reach that goal, because we have seen of humans that we are higher beings to our physical, and we are the leading then. We have to lead right. When we lead right, those follow us right. When they're not following us because we're not leading right. The teacher teaches in class, have a quiet class because of the way they teach and how they carry themselves. The children respect. It's not of arrogant pride. It's not of being brutal, because that only gives them low self-esteem. You should be enabling to give your students humble pride, dignity. When you walk into class, they should know dignified people don't talk too much. They don't do this, they do but that, so they grow right. Not of low self-esteem and shaking when you're coming in, and then when you're leaving now, they're trying to develop an arrogant pride, like that one is gone, that one is gone. You know what I mean? Let's try to generate humble pride, that the student wants to run to you. The student wants to run to you when they see you, like, my teacher, I can't wait to see my teacher. My teacher is so nice, so kind, and we try to heal each other. That even we know that they also get some disturbance because they are also in the flesh, but they are so much better. And we healing is getting us of practice makes perfect. That when we get to the other side, it will be great and we'll be fine. Some have already experienced it because they're also already on the other side. So they are able to see the experience of out there being able to learn back of their basics, and working out there in the other side. They're able to heal so much better. Does not make you to rush out there. But of children, we will have more paradise than of us. But I tell you, it also still gratifies us because we make them. You know what I mean? Like millennials will be like, yeah, we made the generation Z. And the generation Z will be like, yeah, we made the alpha. And the alpha will be like, yeah, you know what? We are the alphas and the beta. You know what I mean? Generation alpha and the beta. And when we do think we're going to be crazy and mess, guess what? We are better. Yay. This is what we're looking for. Motivations, inspirations. We can make it. We can't give up now. We didn't come this far to let go. We can make it. Let's look at ourselves in the mirror and make a change. This is what Papa Michael Jackson did not mess up. Okay? Being sick does not make you a sickness. You can be a sick one, but you can heal. Okay? We healing is his healing. Okay? We all have a mess, but I tell you, we are not messed up. Okay? We heal from all of this. I pray we understand. Let's get the good side of every songs and every. It's amazing how I find peace and spirituality in every songs, in every being. And even the one that was killing, I tell you, you see the peace in them. And the anger was only a sickness, but they were peace. They were a baby. They were a mother's baby, gentle, humble soul. Okay, before being born, before even walking. Okay, you say, oh, they do this, but I tell you, they have a quiet side. There was a time when they could be where there's no trouble, that you will not hear even a sound of hurting. You know what I mean? I pray we understand that of everyone that we've seen that are chaos out there, even the ocean have a quiet time. You know what I mean? We can get better. It's what we're looking for of this good side. We can get better. Let's have hope. It's hope that will take us there. Hope. Let's keep peace still in the storm. I tell you the truth. This physical should not be. It's not a deceit. It's a test. It's a test. It passes on, but we can heal. Stay blessed, okay? Stay blessed. I hope this is the longest video we'll have. Other videos should be at least 30 minutes. Let's try to hear at least the information that I have and work on it. The best is when we sit back and reflect on it and comment. I pray we do not only hear it, but reflect on it. Stay blessed and know we can heal. We heal our world. We heal our world spiritually of the mind before any other activities or any other images being made. Let us heal of the mind and reflect again. If we are part in this world, what is our purpose? We are leaving this world to another. Are we living of a better side of us seeking? You cannot take fire into another beautiful house. You cannot be running from a house that is contaminated to go into another clean, nice one with contamination. You have to clean up. Okay? Take a shower before you get in there. If you want to have a peaceful life. If you don't want to have a peaceful life, why? We need to find our spirituality, our purpose of being. Okay? By looking back at the characteristics of spirituality. Okay? We are a spiritual person within. That's the mind. The characteristics of spirituality, our meaning, our value, the transcendence, which is the concrete to the abstract field, the connecting, the becoming, depending not only on the five senses that we have, or six, the senses that we have, I tell you, are just only a piece that we have a lot to be able to understand. But how do we understand this a lot and work with them right, if not being able to know our basic? What is our purpose? Self-caring, loving, and caring, loving others, and caring, loving the supernatural. That if we are the ones to bring light to all of this existence, let us be the light like we have been of our world, being the highest of being in this our world of the physical. Okay? We can do this. Humans, we can do this. A loyalty is not poverty. It's not being of low self-esteem. It's of being humble pride. Being of humble pride is by knowing our five characteristics of spirituality, like ncbi.nlm.nih.gov has enabled us to understand. Let us look at those. I pray we understand. We'll be talking more about this. This is the little I have about spirituality. There's so much about spirituality. You cannot speak about spirituality without speaking about religion, culture, and all that. But all those, we put them together like concrete to enable us to understand of the mind what spirituality is. Peace that have no storm is what we seek of us, of the mind. That is the battlefield today. But we know what storm is. There's some triggers we have made that are storms without knowing. We begin to learn and know them and make them lessons and heal, so that we begin to catch every diagnosis, even of their asymptomatic stages and heal them. It's of the mind. Self-heal is the best way to catch these asymptomatics. Self-heal by prevention is better than cure. Let's do the best to prevent. Prevention is better than cure. Wash your hands. All this we do in the physical is of the mind. Be careful what you watch. Be careful what you do. Some things are so appealing, but check out the outcomes. What will be the final outcome of this? Does this, even though it looks so right, it's not going to be an addiction? Looking at the outcome, we want to be positive at the end of healing right. Let's correct our mistakes before they become a jeopardy of a tree, complicated to heal. Not that we will not heal, but too much to deal with. Stay blessed, royalties. God bless you. Happy, blessed day. Hope you are able to heal with spirituality and understand and heal right. Stay blessed. I did work with my jotting, and it's really helpful. And I think we understand that human is greater than all beings of the physical. Can we be greater also of the spirit? And every other lower being are not meant to be lower forever, but seek to become like of greater, of equality with us, of humanity, of peace, still in the storm, back to peace that have no storm and none other. Stay blessed, royalties. Peace that have no storm, our kingdom we seek. Stay blessed.